At the end of every day, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I get better today? Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better will you be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the real question. And it all comes down to taking small steps. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day or even 1 week. Just focus on getting a little better every single day.
And we're back with another episode of Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for And Finance. And I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are powered by LoanBot. Smarter mortgage matching, now available on the App Store, Google Play, and anywhere else you get your mobile apps. And today, guys, we're going to be talking with 3 brokers that have some opinions. And I think it's great that we are able to share our opinions without any kind of judgment and transparently to allow those of you that are listening to kind of get into our brains and see what we think about certain situations. But before I get into the topic, let me introduce my guests. So we got first, Jeff Garza. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Good morning. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. What would you like me to say?
That's it. Done.
Short and sweet.
There you go. And then we got Cesar Amezcua. How are you?
Doing great, sir. How are you? Thank you for having us again.
Absolutely. And then the first time on our show, Robert Saenz.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this conversation, guys. And honestly, there was no real topic when we were brainstorming. So surprise, surprise, we're going to go a little freestyle. So who wants to raise the first kind of talking point? We can use this chart up here and just dive right into it.
I love the chart.
Okay.
Not that I love the chart. It's a very sad chart.
Yeah.
But it's also, it shows where we are at.
A very telling chart.
A very telling chart.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you could, Matt, throw on reference. Oh, look at that. That's just wanted to let everybody know. Thank you so much for continuing to follow, like, subscribe. We just hit 61,500 and that's 500 more than we had yesterday.
Let's go.
Wow. So it is moving.
That's crazy.
Let's
That's awesome.
get this off the screen and go talk about some real shit. Boom. So what you're looking at on the screen, and for those of you that are listening in your vehicles, things like that, you might want to pull over and just take a gander at this chart. We've got the 2026 NAR number of deals per agent. Cesar, help us out with this. What are we looking at, man?
Okay. So obviously us as brokers, we have to keep eyes on these,
Absolutely.
to see how our agents are doing. There's always been the 80-20 rule. 20% of the deals, or how does it go? 80% of the deals.
I thought it was 90,
I thought it was 90-10. Yeah.
Like 90% of the deals are done by 10% of the business.
There you go.
Like that. For me, it was always 80-20.
Yeah.
But anyways, this came up.
Brokerage split.
Yeah, that is a split. We do have a cap. And you do get a discount with Train. Yeah. Because so what we're looking at here is,
and you're hiring mortgage lenders.
Then we're hiring.
Let's go.
Dual license.
So what we're just looking at here is January 1st, 2026 to July 6th, 2026. Basically, deal count per agent.
Okay.
Now, NAR total count of 1.3 million. And if you look at the very, very bottom, there's a big 0, which tells us 84% of all agents that are registered with NAR have done 0 transactions. This is the highest I've ever seen this number in my 18-year career. So 100 to 300 transactions, basically 2,000 agents, 0.2%, and you work your way down the chart from there. Once you get to 0, I've never seen that number so high. Yeah. It's 84%. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Well, you could dress it up differently and just say 97% of all agents January 1st through July 6th have closed 4 or less.
That's it.
That might even be worse.
That's a great way of putting it.
That's nuts. Now, you both raised something that I was not aware of when we walked in here, and that was the concept of a lot of agents or a lot of prospecting agents are jumping into the business still. You can kill the reference if you did already. Why do you think that is? Well, plenty of agents right now on social media, I'm seeing in groups, oh, where do you get your business from? How are you doing this? Are you lead genning? Are you paying? tons of agents are trying to figure it out right now. And what I call it is they're trying to figure out the basics because they never really learned the basics. If they got in 2020, 2021, it was just like free for all of deal, another deal. And I don't know how others are not getting that message.
I think it all started when financial advisors started pushing that you have to have multiple streams of income to be, you know, the elite millionaires. I think it was 7 at one point. So I think our business took a big turn because people started thinking of real estate as a side gig and a revenue stream. And that's not what this is. You know, you're dealing with some pretty serious stuff. So you hit it right on the spot. You know, Champions School of Real Estate is freaking packed. All the schools, all the classes, they're there. Jeff, I know you do presentations there, and they're just like, and a lot of them they're saying like, oh, there's a lot of money in real estate. You know, there's a lot of money in real estate. And as a broker, we look kind of like, that's not the question we want to come. And that's not the answer we want when we ask the question, why are you getting into real estate? You know, that's just not the right intentions. But I truly think that everyone's trying to treat it like a side hustle. Yeah. And it's big in California. So if you guys don't know, in California, I think they did a study that there's like 10 realtors per every street in San Antonio and in Los Angeles. Wow. So it's like 10 realtors already live there. So it's just like they get their license just because real estate's so expensive over there that they save on those 3%. Totally makes sense. Yeah. Real estate's not that expensive here in San Antonio. So there's no need to get a license just to save on the 3%. You know, don't waste your time on that, because then you'll be on this chart like this, you know, for sure. You're being misleading, you know, and I think that's the biggest thing of this. So
I'd like to jump into, so like, you know, for anybody listening, right? Like that chart, it's nasty. It's ugly. It's a really bad depiction, ugly depiction. It's not bad if it's accurate, right? It's an ugly depiction of our industry, right? But what I would say is like, we can do one of two things, and we might even be able to do both right now. But the first one is we can kind of like, you know, attack the agent, bag on the agent and be like, you know, like, why are you even in this industry? You know, if you're going to be, you know, part of that 97% or whatever, right? Sure. Okay, I get that totally, right? I could definitely argue all those points for sure. But the second one becomes, I think the professionals, the agents, you know, all of us due paying members who are governed by the Texas Real Estate Commission, I think we need to wake up. Okay. And I think we need to come together and ask that this governing body, right, that oversees licensure, education, continuing education renewals, and so on and so forth. Yeah. I think we need to start something that I don't see anywhere. Like, who's going to be squeaky or loud enough to say, you know what? How is it that to get a real estate license, it literally takes about 1/8 of the hours that it takes to get a barber's license in the state of Texas? Good point. And so I literally just went to a barber graduation for a very good family friend of ours last week at a really cool barber setup here. And,
hold on.
Yeah. I know who said that, right?
Wow. That's got to be the crunkest problem. And I haven't said the word crunk in a long time.
Bring it back.
No, I mean, I'm just simply saying like it just because what I see, like, you know, on Shift Talk and what I see on Lab Coat Agents, the national stuff, right? What I see what everyone sees, right? The problem is like, there's just a lot of sheep. There's just a lot of sheep repeating the same fucking shit. Like the same thing. Like, oh, well, you know, I closed 20 deals last year and I'm a big fucking deal. Like, honestly, like, you know, call me when you've done 2,000. Like, honestly, like if we want to go there, right? But at the end of the day, like, I don't even think that person who's, you know, claiming they're 20 is wrong. I'm just simply saying, like, I think there's too many people in the pool. Yeah. And I think that for Texas, right? Because I feel like we have a voice in that, right? I feel Texas has completely laid over. I think the Texas Real Estate Commission has it completely wrong. You know, they talk about, you know, consumer advocacy, so on and so forth. Well, how are we protecting the consumer when we're letting anybody practically who has a beating heart and some red blood in their veins running in their veins? How are we protecting the consumer when almost anybody can get a license? So I'm kind of maybe leave it right there.
That's a simple answer. I mean, it's a governing body that's based on membership and paying dues and renewals.
But we have to accept that they've made the hours so low that anyone can do it.
I understand, but you also, like, you and I were at a meeting, which we're not going to divulge what kind of meeting it was. Yep. But when two of the people in that meeting said, hey, we need to, you know, hold the herd a little bit. We need to just lower the number of agents. It was, how dare you know why? Because they're membership
Absolutely.
driven. It's
revenue based. Yeah.
revenue based.
Yeah.
So the more agents you have there, the more licenses you have there, the more things you're processing every day, the bigger it gets, Bureaucracy 101.
Yeah.
It's just that simple when you get down to it. So
I'm going to raise a different, and this isn't even a side point. It's just something that I want to shed light on. And I'm looking up the stat right now, hoping that it'll give it to me. And you don't have to put this on the screen. I just want it for us. I asked ChatGPT, out of all the transactions, home sale transactions in Texas, how many of those were new construction? And the reason why I want to know that, and again, nothing against any agents that are focusing just on new construction.
I know exactly where you're going.
But are you truly learning how to become a realtor if you're only handing them off to the sales counselor and waiting until they close?
Don't even get. Well, actually, you already got me started. You already got me started.
I'll give you the simple answer, right? So at my brokerage, right, and any of my agents who might be listening to this, they won't be offended because we have this conversation very fluidly and very often. I have always told my agents, and it's no slight to you, to the agent, right? But if all you've ever done was like 98% of your business or 99 or 100% of your business was new build, you're not a realtor.
Right.
I can tell you that right now. And that doesn't make you wrong.
Did you make good money? Probably.
Absolutely.
Probably.
You made great money.
That's right.
And I've always challenged my agents at my firm that, hey, like, if that's your focus, that's great. But like the moment that you get, a 1965, lead-based paint, ridden house, maybe on some septic or pier and beam or whatever, like, call me, because all the trainings you've been in, now they apply.
That's right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, it's no shot to that agent, right? Because I don't want any to be like, oh my God, like,
well, Jeff, go ahead. So it doesn't become a shot. Can you explain a little bit more, a little bit more why and what's going to happen to your construction homes eventually? I mean,
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. If you could get to there, that way people
absolutely.
Don't be like, because those people aren't going to last. If they're doing, I had an agent that didn't even know how to do an option period,
right?
Repair requests.
Yeah.
And they never had to. You don't do that with builders. The rep does it all for you.
Right.
So
well, ultimately, we would all know that, all the new builds right now are sitting on record high inventory.
Absolutely.
The same way pre-owned is, right?
Yes,
average days on market for listings are super high right now, right? And so all of a sudden now it's in vogue for the builders to want to be, chummy with us and best friends and offering the, I won't say the names because I'm not trying to disparage anybody, but like, the emails that we all get, right, are like, these are the 6% bonus houses. And that list is like 800 homes long, right?
I just sent a CDA. I just sent a CDA right now. It's on Rob.
That's crazy.
I never seen this before. 7% plus a bonus.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild.
That's insane.
That's wild.
You know what, guys? I think I'm going to go get my real estate license.
Right. Side gig.
And then kind of, and I don't know if we're trying to go in this direction, but another thing to consider, this has been talked about many times, I know on your show for sure, the agent who is proficient, right, at getting clients, home buyers, homeowners into new build,
right?
There has to be a question as to whether or not that was the best move, right? Because we know that house is probably going to appreciate at the slowest rate versus
especially right now.
Yeah, it's going to depreciate, then it's going to appreciate.
Yes.
And not necessarily is it going to depreciate, but it's going to find its footing.
It's going to stall
as far as what the actual value is eventually.
Absolutely. It could stall for 9 months to 18 months to 24 months.
Yes,
and then we start that uptick,
I always tell people the first person to sell their house in that neighborhood finds out what their
what's
real
happening,
value is.
kind of what Rob was alluding to, because Rob's like, one of the kings of REOs and foreclosures and things like that. Like, all we're doing is creating this new sub market of homes that are going to have a bubble that will burst, right?
Yeah.
And so let's just say, and I'm just going to use a random number. Let's just say agents across the San Antonio metro placed 50,000 homeowners, home buyers into new build, right?
Yeah.
The likelihood that if they need to sell within the next 36 months that they're going to be in a great position is zero. They're going to be in a really messed up position from equity, from, principal pay down to competition in the neighborhood and so on and so on and so forth. So I think that's kind of what you're looking to, but we're about to see a huge wave of problems. And again, again, not a shot at the agent, because the agent, you can, hey, if that's what you want to buy, that's what you want to buy kind of thing. But like, I do know that there are agents out there who only focus on that. And I feel like it's very one-sided. Like,
it's being celebrated too. That's the sad thing.
Big
that
time.
it's being celebrated that the more, the more obviously a lot of these agents focus on social media content to gather their leads. And we've seen this before. We all did Zillow at one point when Zillow came out, and that was the cool thing. And we got, from the OGs back then, we got so much hate, like, oh, you're buying your own leads. I'm like,
okay.
Yes, I am. And they're closing. But we asked those questions. We actually had fiduciary duty. Right now, if you ask the average agent what's fiduciary duty, they don't know. I asked it to a room full of people. I mean, how many people were there that day?
Quite a few, over 100.
Oh, well over 100.
Yeah.
And I said, raise your hand if you know what fiduciary duty is. And not one person.
Just me.
Yeah, Rob, Jeff.
And either they didn't know, Cesar, or they were scared to answer it. And what I mean by that is they were scared to own the most important part of their profession.
Yeah.
Like if someone was to say, hey, Jeff, like, what is your fiduciary? Man, sit down. Let me talk to you.
That's right.
I'm not going to screw you over. I'm not going to get you with people who are not professionals. I'm going to make sure that everything's transparent. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, blah, 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 blah. Like I'm dying for someone to ask me how I can protect them, which is basically what you were asking the crowd.
It's that simple. Yeah. And it's being celebrated right now. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's being celebrated and it's being hidden away. That lack of transparency when buying a new home. We talked about it last time we were here. Joshua was here and he was going over some crazy stats, and it's being celebrated and it's being hidden away by all this smoke and mirrors on social media.
It's very true.
It's you see it on social media with the lavish closing gifts and the whole experience of the closing, when in the beginning all you had to do was ask 2 questions. How long are you going to be here? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because this may not be the best option for you. And what's the cash value of the home?
Boom.
That's it. That's all you had to do to do your fiduciary duty. It was a very simple 2 questions, but instead you focused way too much on your social media content, on the closing gift, on the experience that you're getting. And people are buying. I mean, they're
eating it up.
Yum. And it just, come on, guys.
You're almost treating the concept of buying of a home as it's a
quinceañera.
Not like it should be treated. I mean, you're actually spending a lot of money on this property. Won't you want to know what the outcome in 5 years could be? I mean,
it's really not that difficult, but if people started doing that, their sales would go down.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned, and I've talked about the concept of the cash value to agents before. Yeah. Very few have even taken the advice to ask that. So as the lender, I stay out of that side of it. But you're on the money when it comes to all these incentives that they're offering, et cetera, et cetera. I've told agents, hey, go in there with your client and let them know that you're paying cash. You don't need their financing, none of that stuff. Just like you're buying a car. Mm-hmm. I don't need your finance. I don't want to talk to that guy. I want your best price on this. Matter of fact, I don't have a trade yet. Don't show them your cards. Mm-hmm. Then bring that in. Then bring
and a great builder. Here's another issue. A great builder will give you that cash value.
Yeah,
like that. Other type of builder will not. They will hide behind those incentives and that everything that's getting rolled in.
Right.
They will not tell you. And I'm not going to say any names, but it's so blatant that it's on people like us. It's insulting.
Yeah.
I mean, just tell me the cash value, man.
I agree.
Like, I mean, I'm going to have to go to your manager, and I had to go to managers before and say, hey, I just want to know the cash value. If I were to write you a check today, what the fuck is it, man?
That's right. And Jeff, you mentioned something, which was the fact that it's a separate little bubble that eventually could pop, more than likely will. One thing that I foresee that could change the outcome of that is, and without diving into politics, but I think politics could change that for the better, depending upon how these next 2 elections go.
I agree.
Yep. And the reason I say that is we've had an influx of people from East Coast, West Coast that has not stopped.
Right.
But eventually, depending on the way things go, it could kind of ratchet up even more.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of land. We've got a lot of great people here in Texas.
Definitely.
So therefore, more inventory is needed.
Right. Yeah. We're kind of in a, I don't know, like it's a double-edged sword down here in Texas as a state.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to even say like the Hill Country, Central South Texas, whatever this hybrid is between like, Austin and a little south of San Antonio, like, this little pocket that we're in, which is not little, but this
It's
area.
growing.
Like,
Yeah.
ultimately, like there's a couple of factors that are very unique to us, right? So the first one is our VA influx, right? I mean, we have 3 active military installations in the city of San Antonio.
And that's one that's a constant.
Yeah, exactly. So that's always going to help, like stir the drink, right?
Sure.
So we got that. And then, like you said, without going down the politics or the economics part of it, but like, we have an inflation issue going on right now, which everybody's aware of. And then, we've got the Fed rate, and then, and we're trying to control inflation.
Sure.
And we know that by doing that, we're not going to see anything.
We're not helping on this.
No, yeah. So without going into all of that, but the bottom line is there's a lot of little pieces that are all connecting right now. And so our area is ripe for more development, for more growth, right? Our cost of living is just much better than most across the US, right?
Yeah.
Our school districts are, whether people like it or not, are actually probably some of the most sought after in the entire US, right?
Yeah.
And, anybody who's listening to this, again, agents, maybe newer agents are like, I don't believe that. Like I can't stand Northeast, or I can't stand Northside. Talk to someone from Jersey.
Good point.
Talk to someone that's coming in from Wyoming. Talk to someone who's coming in from Iowa, you know what I'm saying? Or California, right? New York, right?
Minnesota.
Because we deal with all those folks, and people like that. And they're just dying to get over here. Like,
Absolutely.
honestly, it even just the quality of life, and just, to not have to be next to my neighbor, and, different freedoms that are a little bit more normal down here in Texas. Right. So yeah, there is this like bubble that I don't think is going to go away, but it's dangerous, right? It's dangerous because we are the practitioners, we're the professionals, we're the license holders, and we should be having kind of like, basically we're reiterating the same thing, but we should be having business conversations with our clients about this business maneuver,
Sure.
which is purchasing a home.
Yeah.
And I think we need to start dialing down the glamorizing of it, right? Because it's glamorous on the day of closing. I get it. I've been the brand new agent before. I've been you who's listening. I get it. I've been there, done that. But what I think is completely being missed right now is like, did you feel like your fiduciary was still to be their agent
Jeff,
in 4 years from now?
I don't know what fiduciary means.
Exactly. Yeah. But like, did you care to forecast for me during all this hurrah, the good and the bad, and let me make that decision? Because I think we are hurting a lot of people by not having that 2 to 4 year to 5 year, forecast.
Yes,
for sure.
And I think that it's to your prompt, which was the idea of the glamorizing the closing. Then you've got the TikTok agent, etc. I don't foresee that changing. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse, but I also see potential for layman consumers seeing it as just noise eventually, because I guarantee you every person on social media has 3 to 10 realtors in their friend group on their actual feed.
Yeah.
And what I see a lot of is agents that will post under contract. I'm like, dude, you must be killing it. I look up their numbers and I'm like, you ain't closed shit this year. I don't get it. They're not telling you that contract fell apart because of this reason a week later or what have you. So that and I totally get the concept of faking it till you make it. But I do think that if they shared that this contract fell apart on social media, they'd actually gain a little bit more value by doing so. Credibility. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think they would. I mean, it's a part of growing up in the business where you really, really have to go through those tough conversations, especially in this market with as listing agents, which I think all of us here are, at that level, heavy listing, and just having those tough conversations of a busted contract, or canceling a listing. I know Rob has done a couple of posts where you have to pick up the sign because guess what?
Yeah.
We I think one of the interesting facts is talking to Gabe Gonzalez over at New World Title.
Yeah.
He was saying that out of every 10 contracts that come in, 6 of them fall through.
Yeah.
So it's like all of those agents, there's 6 agents that are having a bad day.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so it's like, how does the client feel though?
12 agents.
12. Yeah. Cause they're on the both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides. And that's crazy.
And 2 clients per.
Yeah. So for the agent that's posting a lot of the under contract, that's kind of scary. I actually freak out and tell our people, like, don't post it until it's past pending.
Absolutely.
And, shit like that, because it's just like, you never know. You never want to mislead the consumer. But even your client that's looking at it, they're like, why is this guy posting under contract if we fell through? And, they just, it could get confusing.
That's a good point.
Because a lot of our clients follow us on social media.
Of course.
I tell my agents, do not do the touchdown dance until you cash your check.
That's right.
I do not celebrate until the check is in
Keys
my
in
bank
hand,
account.
guys. Keys in hand.
We're closing funded. Okay, now we can post a picture. Now I do not understand what a lot of agents are doing now on social media.
It is definitely for the concept of making their audience feel like they know what they're doing inherently. They're good at what they do. They're having success with what they're doing. Use me.
It's funny.
Versus the concept like what you're talking about, which is I'm just going to be transparent with you. A day in the life.
Exactly.
I gotta throw this one in there. So, and again, I hope someone's listening that does this, because it's really important, right? Like
Jeff's talking to you.
Yeah, I'm talking to you. You're in the car right now somewhere and you're listening to this, right? The under contract, blah, 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 right? We get that. But I've always told my agents, why don't I see you tag yourself at a training? Why don't I see yourself tagging just met with my broker for 45 minutes about my business forecast for this year.
That's right.
Just met with my business coach to talk about my marketing and advertising arm to my business. Like, and conferences,
nationwide data,
lunch and learns, like, why don't, like, those to me are just as valuable, if not more. Like, oh, wow, I see Janie, man, she goes to her brokerage twice a week. She tags in at a training and she always leaves a golden nugget about what she worked on today in her craft. Like, wow, like that would be cool, right? But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a little long in the tooth here,
It's not as sexy as the song. You got a little R&B in the background,
a little booty shaking.
The only thing I see being marketed these days is
confetti.
Under contract, and I just recruited somebody.
Oh, no. My favorite one.
Listed.
Don't start. I know where you're going.
My favorite one. I just capped at my brokerage.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Your customer, your potential customer could care less.
I mean, and it's always the same regurgitated bullshit.
Yes.
I just capped at my brokerage. This means that I have paid enough money for the year for me to go to 100% commission. I want to thank my clients. And I'm like, dude, why?
Let me break this down. And
why? It's never been seen before.
You're right.
So
that was an intra office. Email intra office celebration. Like, yes, all your boys in the brokerage. Like, hey man, good job, man. Good job.
So hopefully this will be a quote on the wall here one day, right?
Okay.
All right.
I just capped.
Just capped, right?
Capped. I like that.
That just capped post is not a rite of passage.
Oh, wow.
That just capped post is your specific cost of doing business at the brokerage you chose.
Period.
Nobody needs to know. If you want to share the rest of your P&L, I'd be more impressed.
That's right.
But that's one line item on your P&L, the cost of being sponsored.
That's right.
Right. So just cap doesn't tell me a damn thing.
I just paid my dues.
Yeah.
I just paid my dues. I just paid the rent.
That's right.
That's exactly what that means. Right. And I think it's kind of embarrassing. Like, and again, someone's listening to they're like, I can't believe he said that. Well, no, like if you can get past yourself, because it's bigger than you.
Yes.
Realize what you're crop dusting the world with, what seeds you're dropping. Like, oh, I just capped. Like, someone with a W-2 doesn't go to Facebook and be like, hey, I just lost my quarterly bonus because we didn't meet sales. Like, and even if you did get the bonus, you wouldn't have posted, hey guys, we just sold $20 billion worth of groceries at H-E-B and this was my quarterly profit share. Like, no one even posts that because most W-2 people act a little bit more professional than most 1099s do.
Facts.
Like, we don't need to know all that business.
And I think all three of us own our own shops, and and this is a big
I cap on January 1st at 12:01 a.m.
Boom.
That's when I cap.
No, but a lot of people from the companies that are pushing the cap are saying like, well, maybe they don't offer caps. We offer caps. Like, we give our agent a cap, but honestly, I had two agents cap recently, and I told them, do you want a social media post, or do you want to go have lunch and talk business and see how the rest of your year is going to go?
Amen.
How are you going to spend the rest of your money that you're saving? Are you investing or do you want that post? Because we could do one or the other, And they chose the lunch and we went. We had a great conversation, and I think that goes a lot further than putting up a post about capping. That's just there's no value in that to the client, to the consumer. I mean,
zero. And time with you is valuable.
Yeah.
Time with you is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, time with Mark is valuable. Time with me, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe not.
Maybe. I'm gonna use that post though. January 1st.
January 1st at 12:01 a.m.
I capped.
12:01 a.m. I just capped.
Hey, Matt, will you throw up the reference view just for a moment?
That's funny.
Because
a lie or
I've got younger children, and they're the new wave that every once in a while drop some new knowledge on me. And I learned that no cap means you're not lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the idea behind this cap, I just capped.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, are you capping about your no cap?
Capping about the cap?
I mean,
Yeah.
Anywho,
about the cap.
you can kill that.
I like that. He said he sold 100 homes last month. That's cap.
That's cap. That's cap. Yeah.
We have broker metrics we can tell.
Another thing that I see, since we're on the topic of social media posts that make you go, is when someone switches brokerages or mortgage companies. You
The LeBron post, the decision.
Everybody and their mother that's like, congratulations. I mean, they didn't change their profession.
Yeah.
Like, we're all still the same self-employed realtor lender concept. So why all the kudos? Why all of the matter of fact, what does that do for you? To be honest,
it's a whole new level on the customer side. And I'm focusing on the customer side. It's a whole new level of ignorance. Okay. Our job is to educate.
Yeah.
Right. And we're educating them, you know, because we are not as visible as other agents.
Sure.
You know, I say, I think I have 13,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
There's agents here that have 60, 100, 250,000 followers.
Right.
And whatever.
13K is not bad.
It's not bad, but I mean, it's not 250, right? 250. I mean, you're doing well, you know, and you just, whatever you show those people is what those people are learning.
Mm-hmm.
And not just that, most of my posts are family things.
Correct.
You know, it's not really a whole lot of business. Right. So we're not as you know, visible as other agents.
Right.
So whatever they push out there is what becomes, I don't know, maybe the responsibility is on us to be more visible. Mm-hmm. So to showcase a little bit more of what real estate really is.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all, actually. Yeah. And it's, you can have one school of thought that's like, I'm tired of seeing these posts, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to participate in that. Okay, great. The way of the world is not going to change, and it's going to continue to evolve and improve and et cetera. So that means, like you said, there's going to be more of it. Well, the other philosophy is, I'm going to join it, but I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and in my opinion, I think you're going to get more qualified followers than just onlookers that want to see funny content, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Entertainment versus education.
We do see a lot of entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people that want to be, I guess, reality TV. I don't know.
Basically.
Well, I mean, I think there's a percentage that most people preach. Marketing companies will preach, like, I think it's 90-10, 90 family, 90 personal, and 10 business.
So I actually grew my business day one from social media. I'm going to testament to that. Back in 2012, I was one of the first ones that posted the picture. They didn't even have the key back then. 0 likes for probably a whole year. And then it was like, oh, wow, he's actually closing loans. And that being the case, I forgot where I was going with that. What'd you ask?
It was like, as far as like what you post, 90%.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when I would go through that process, at first it was 80% business, 20% personal.
Yeah.
As it progressed, it flipped to 80% personal, 20% business. Now I would go as far as to say that it's 10% business, 90% personal. Oh. And the reason for that is, number one, I've learned that people are tired of hearing the same stuff, because if I'm posting about interest rates, I'm posting about home sales, those same people, my followers, they've got 10 other people minimum that are doing the same thing. So it just becomes noise.
There was a social media person that was speaking at a conference, and she was saying that the stories, like the Instagram stories, they should be treated almost like a show. So like your day to day, what you're doing every day, and then you throw in there a commercial where you throw in like a listing or something like that. And I was like, dude, that totally fucking makes sense. Yes. Like, that's the way to go. Because even when I'm looking at other people, like when I'm looking at financial advisors, shit, like I don't want to see all these numbers and shit. Like, you schedule a meeting to go learn that shit.
On the money.
I think for the most part, it's just kind of like getting the right content on there goes a long ways too, because when the client actually meets you, they know you.
Exactly.
There's people that are on there that I've seen at events that you see them all fucking flashy and shit, and then you see them at events and they're quiet in the fucking corner. Like that, you can't do that. You have to be who
yourself.
Be yourself. Talk to people. Be personal. If you're gonna be personable online, be personable in person, but with your clients especially. You know.
In addition to that, let's say they don't know you first from social media. Guarantee this day and age, they're gonna go and look for you on social media after they meet you. Period. I mean, that's just another. What is that you guys have access to where you get a phone number?
Forewarn.
There you go. Forewarn.
Forewarn.
The same concept. They want to know who they're doing business with. And let's say they jump on your social media and they see you shaking your ass. If it's a married couple, one of them's going to like it. One of them's not.
Not going to work. Yeah. Not going to work.
You know?
Yeah.
I want to take you back to something that you opened up a Pandora's box and then we kind of glossed over it when you were talking about like, you know, why do people celebrate the transfer posts and all that other stuff, right? So I have a lot of history in this, right? In terms of just having a larger brokerage and, you know, we have agents that transfer in and transfer out. We're just like anyone else. I mean, you know, nothing is always perfect and nothing lasts forever, right? I think we can all agree to that. But, you know, one of the things that I see is like, you know, I guess you kind of had asked like, why do we celebrate that? Why do we put congratulations on that post is what I think you actually asked.
And I don't know if it's necessary a celebrate. It definitely is. It's definitely an announcement, but why is it a
shit looks like a celebration? I'll tell you that much. It's
what does it change? What did you do now that you're now at this? You're still responsible for having your own business and attracting.
And that's what I wanted to kind of nail down on. So like basically, you know, I've been my own, you know, psychology study in this, right? Because when I was a broker on day one and someone left, like I took it personal, you know, it hurts because you're like, okay, I'm going to invest everything I got into this person. I'm going to teach them up. I'm going to train them up. And then over time you realize like there's a season for every agent at your shop. I mean, if for any like aspiring broker owners or broker owners listening, like, you know, take it from me. Like, I mean, now I'm kind of like, man, if we had a nice 12, 18, 24, 30-month run, right? Then I'm cool, you know, and I'll be cool with you if you're professional as you leave. The ones that I can't really deal with and I don't tolerate and I don't even have time for anymore are the ones who would have come to my face and said, hey, you know, I'm changing for this reason, right? And then the next day, like
they're back to the same old shit.
They either blast, you know, the brokerage or they blast the support or they blast the training that they never took to, that they never attended.
Here's how they actually go about it. They put in their post the reason why they're joining this new brokerage,
right?
For support for this. Like, wait a minute. You weren't getting that at the last place because you know damn well you were. Is it just now you're going to start paying attention?
And then the other thing, I've always said this too, like, and agents need to really listen to this, right? Because everyone's watching. Every good lender in this area already knows your style, your MO. Every good broker that's in tune with the industry, that's a mover and a shaker, is watching. We all see it, right? And what I would say is like, you know, if you're unhappy somewhere or you need growth or you need a new opportunity, go for it. Like do you like you're 1099. You're not my employee. Right. You're a contractor, right? Yeah. So go do you, right? All day long, right? You know, God bless you. And we're all hoping for success for you, right? Anybody who leaves. But what I would say is like, what really aggravates me from a perspective of like, man, I was always rooting for you. Was that when I see them make that change, there's always this little 60-day incubation window where all of a sudden they go live. Where all of a sudden they're happy about that new logo and that new brand. All of a sudden they're hashtagging their shop. Right. And then like 60 days later, they go back to being consistently inconsistent and who they were where they were at before. And does that make sense?
And the reason why they left essentially is new people, new brokerage, that kind of stuff. But some things stay the same, which is you. Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, if they don't have healthy habits, if they don't have a good calendaring, if they don't have good social media presence, if they don't have a sphere of influence, if they don't know how to door knock, cold call, circle prospect, reverse prospect, any of those things, they're going to go to the next shop very, very subpar, very, very broken and the same, right? And it's going to be mainly the same results, right? And so that's the sad part for me because
they've been taught like over here, we will give you success. When I go to Champions or when I interview an agent or whatever, one of the things that I'm like adamant in telling an agent straight to the white in their eyes is I cannot guarantee you any success. And that's kind of counterintuitive to the recruiting interviewing process.
It is, but it's honest.
But it's honest because, you know, then they're looking at me like, wow, I've never heard someone say that. Like, I thought you're supposed to be telling me that I'm going to be successful with you. Right. And I'm going to be like, I don't know you well enough. I don't know your hustle. I don't know your grind. I don't know your commitment. I don't know your financials. I don't know your maturity. I don't know your EQ. I don't know your IQ. I don't know how you handle people. I don't know if you're fast on your feet. I don't know if you can math, you know, if you can even calculate. I don't know if you can see figures in your head. I don't know if you've got a marketing bone in your body, right? So like, honestly, like, we're just going to like go from match.com to now you're in my company and we're just going to kind of watch you and hopefully, you know, you're not a cancer or hopefully you're not a negative spirit or energy. And if you are, you got to be out. And if you can just maintain and not get us sued and not complain about whatever you're doing in your world, then we're happy to sponsor you. Like it's really that simple because I think a lot of agents have it very twisted. Like that broker owners or even franchises, right? It doesn't matter, right? That any broker owner operating principle, whatever, that like we like literally just married you.
Yes.
We didn't.
Yes.
Like I still don't even know all the qualities of some of my agents, even after being with them for 2 or 3 years.
That's true.
Because I'm still learning how you handle yourself in this market
under
versus
stress.
You know, because I remember being a broker owner during COVID. Oh my God. You would have thought everyone
millionaires
loved everybody, right? Because money was just dropping from the sky, right? But now you can really see who's got that grit, who's got a connection to reality, and who is running a business.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's true to any brokerage, to any broker principal, operating principle or whatever, right? But yeah, all those transfer posts and the congratulations, I think we should start normalizing. Instead of saying congratulations, I think we should say, I hope this is the final one.
Boom. That's strong.
Yeah.
Because when someone transfers to Redbird,
but then they will take offense to that. Like
they'll be offended.
Business.
Yeah, which is because
really sad. They don't get what you're even
because
saying.
they won't appreciate real feedback, right? Like, so like because we get transfers in, of course, we're just like any other company.
Yep.
I would like for that statement to be true to someone who just transferred to Redbird.
Agree.
I hope this is the last one.
Yeah. For me on the lending side, when I'm recruiting, when I'm interviewing, I probably have one every 2 weeks, a new to the business loan officer or a loan officer that calls me and say, hey, I like what you're doing. Da, 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 da. My first goal is to scare the piss out of them because at the end of the day, what we do is not easy. I don't want to make it sound like a cakewalk to them. And if they can at least make it through that concept, and I can tell you for the last year and a half, no one has. Because I'm really scaring the shit out of them. Hold on. Let me pull up these numbers and show you what's actually going on in our market right now. Because if you don't know these top agents or don't have an in with these agents, you've got to figure out a way to capture your own business consumer direct before these agents are going to give you a shot at any of this stuff. Furthermore, I was talking to, and this has to do with hiring concept. I was talking to a good friend in Idaho last night. And she's like, man, I've got to learn how to hire right. And I said, Deb, there is no way to hire right. I've hired so many people in my career and lost so many people. Your job is to hire and then make sure to let them go quickly if they're not the right fit. The longer you let that go on, that's now on you. But every time somebody's interviewing, they're not their true self. They're selling you.
Absolutely.
And that's okay, because guarantee you, if you were sitting in their hot seat, you're going to do the same damn thing.
Yeah.
So how do you hire right? You don't. You do your very best job to vet them out. You do your very best job to ask the right questions. But if the person on the other side is a damn good salesperson, well, you're going to get sold.
Yeah.
A good salesperson likes to be sold.
Yep.
So we get the warm and fuzzies, we hire them, we move forward. 3 months later, that's not the same person that was sitting in front of me. But
one of the I don't want to say disqualifier, but one of the red flag questions, you know, in that environment, and I'm sure you get this as well, is like, you know, do you feed me leads? Right. And I'm like, if
that was the first thing out of your mouth,
like, I already know what you're looking for. Like because if you want me to feed you leads, like, do you want to be my W-2? Because it'd be cheaper for me. It'd be cheaper for you to be my salaried employee. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, let me just make you my employee.
Yeah.
But you don't get to have the freedoms that realtors have.
That's right.
And you're going to be here 60 hours a week.
That's right.
And so, like, I mean, I don't know how,
Or at least 40.
you probably.
Well, you really can't out broker yourself. Let me see if I say this right. You can't out broker yourself from being part of that 84%.
Okay.
Doesn't matter where you are.
Exactly.
If you're part of that 84%, you will stay in that 84%.
Can I rewrap that in a different way?
Go for it. You're better with words.
You just killed it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it in
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Okay, here it comes. Ready? Listen to what he just said. If every team or brokerage or company that gave out leads was good at what they did, then 97%
Wouldn't
four
be as
homes
heavy.
closed to zero would not exist.
Absolutely.
And that's where a younger agent needs to wake the fuck up. Like, wake the fuck up. If you are being tantalized by leads, why isn't everybody in San Antonio with that company?
Good point.
If you are being tantalized with, I'll go there, with stocks and downlines, why isn't every agent there?
Right. It's a good point.
Or the ones that are there who are on the come up, trying to find that extra ancillary, trying to find that extra shot of revenue, because the other thing, the main thing, isn't the main thing anymore, which is advocating for buyers, sellers, renters, investors, and developers.
It's true.
And if you just heard me say that and you're listening to this and you didn't even know that you could advocate for those five, you're already fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up that your brokerage hasn't taught you that those are the kinds you can go after. But what are all the brokerages in America teaching? Just go work for buyers and sellers. Oh, renters, don't mess with them. Oh, developers, you're not advanced enough.
Yeah.
Oh, investors, you don't speak that lingo. Like, wow. Like, how shitty of an environment do you have your license at?
Absolutely.
Those renters are the secret sauce right now.
Absolutely.
1000%.
Absolutely.
I recently heard a person that was saying the issue that we're having right now is, so there's a hunter and the farmer, right? We have too many hunters, too many people going out trying to chase the new business.
I call them hunters and skinners.
Hunters and skinners, yeah. So the hunters are the ones that are always, chasing the business. They're hunting, eat what you kill type of deal. The thing about that is in hunting, there's seasons.
That's right.
Right. So the farmers are the ones that are cultivating and making more sales based off their existing client base.
Sure.
So it says, like, why do we have so many hunters and why? And obviously the world rewards the one that can hunt and farm. Those are the fucking top of the line.
Yes,
but we have too many hunters right now. People, buying too many shitty leads. It's just it's a hard turn with these new leads, online leads, because it's a harder sell.
Right.
Where on the past clients, they already know you. You go in, I go in like this to show houses.
That's right.
Like literally.
You've built that rapport.
You built that
based
rapport
on your value, not how you look.
Exactly. Based on, instead of having to, always try to read the client and do that's the wrong way to approach this business. And that's the reason a lot of these people are on that, that 97%. You just kind of open our eyes there, Jeff, with combining those bottom ones.
Yeah. 97, 4 and under. That's not enough to even say you're an expert at anything.
Let's be honest. Can you make a living? I mean, if you're in the 13%.
I mean, if you've got a partner that's actually making the money, because if it's just you,
if you got 4 of those 7% bangers from the new build, then you probably are good.
7% plus
and like you mentioned it earlier, like, I mean, we all sign checks and CDAs and commissions and stuff, and like, man, I get excited for my agents. I got to tell you, they know me. Like, I mean, I'm always rooting for them, but man, like, I've seen some checks recently
crazy
on a new build where they're like, oh yeah, that was a 21-day close at such and such builder and there was no friction and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then I see this like commission thing come through my e-sign set up, and I'm like, $42,000. So then the next team meeting that I have, I'm like, hey, everybody, like, don't leave for lunch because Johnny Joe over there, he's buying for lunch for everybody. But and I'm excited for the guy. But here's maybe even another tidbit for those agents who strike gold on a new build or two.
Yeah,
awesome, man. Take some of that money, put it aside, save it, because this market is going to break you at one point or another.
Absolutely. And
just be prepared for the rainy day because the storm is coming. And then not only that, maybe invest instead of leads into
yourself
by way of conferences by way of additional affiliations and associations.
Shit, get yourself a subscription to ChatGPT and start going to town on asking questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start going to town on create some content around this concept.
And
now,
even
I want to add two things real quick. So the first thing before this topic goes away, and you kind of provoked it, which is I use the term Rainmaker when the stint that I had the big branch and bunch of loan officers, et cetera.
The moving truck on 1604 with your big old face on it.
Oh, you remember. I'm about to bring it back.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, the wife's Tesla's paid off. I said, I'll take it.
Yeah.
The idea of every week I used the book, How to Become a Rainmaker, as like the Bible. Okay. Every week we had a different lesson on how to become a rainmaker, because there are a lot of people out there that are portraying to be the rainmaker, but not doing the rainmaker activities. Rainmaker activities are not sexy. They're not fun. They're not cool to do, but they have to be done consistently.
They're real work.
They're real work. Why? Because the rainmaker takes accountability for everything. He's got mouths to feed. He's got people to attest to, et cetera, et cetera. That's when you can call yourself a true rainmaker. But there's a lot of people, kind of like you're saying, that are faking that funk. Okay, so that's that one. Now, you were talking about the concept of new construction and these big fat commissions. And all I was thinking about when you were saying that was, man, I hope that we do have an influx and the values don't go like they could go. Because how will those agents feel when their client is calling them to sell their home, and that big $40,000 commission is the reason why they're upside down? Because we know where that money's at.
Well, once you couple that commission along with all the incentives that were rolled in.
That's right.
We go back to what we were talking about earlier. Just what's the cash price?
Right.
What is the cash price? Just be an advocate for your client. Just educate them so they know what they're getting themselves into, and ask. This year I've been realtor number 2, realtor number 3, where somebody got put in a terrible situation, and they do not discriminate. They do not care who it is. It could be a young couple, elderly person. It doesn't matter. They get put in these bad situations, and then they're like, why did this happen? Like, well, it wasn't me.
Right.
But I can probably tell you why. You're not going to like it.
Yeah.
It's not pretty.
Right.
And once you drop it, you're like, oh, okay.
Well, essentially that client, that realtor, that broker told you what you wanted to hear because they were fearful of not making the commission on the sale. And that run you the risk of putting you in jeopardy.
Which is funny in a way, because once you approach it that way, the odds of that deal falling through are very slim.
Agree.
All you have to do is be like, okay, guys, I need you to understand these two concepts.
Yep.
And the odds of it falling apart are very, very small, very small. And most people just don't do it out of fear that I'm not going to get the transaction, or or ignorance. That's another one. Right. My gosh, ignorance. I didn't know I could ask those questions.
Correct.
But that goes back to broker team leaders, whoever's in charge of you.
It does, but it also, I have to put it on that agent as well, because I would go as far as to say that if you haven't done enough transactions, those things aren't going to come up. So you don't know to ask the question.
There is a little bit of common sense.
You know what I mean? Your broker's probably teaching it, but you haven't had the ability to apply it. So it's in one ear, out the other.
Can I dovetail on that a little bit? So like, as I'm hearing this right now, I'm thinking to myself, like, I want to make sure that it's very clear that for me, and I think for everybody here, I think we're not here, talking shit about an agent who sells very few homes.
Right.
What we're saying is that Facebook and social media is a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And if NAR is saying that 97% of all licensed or NAR members from January 1 through July this year, 97% of them have sold 4 homes or less, with 84% of that being 0.
Yeah.
Right. What we're simply saying here is, like, we cannot let that be okay. And I think maybe more than that, I think people listening to this need to wake up, because if that's true, which it is,
and
90,
that is a
97%,
representation.
It's a representation.
Yep.
Then you can't go onto your Facebook and scroll here in San Antonio or Austin or in the Valley or wherever, and like you happen to be friends with the other 3%.
Yeah.
Like someone's fucking lying to you.
Thank you. Yes.
I think, is that kind of what, like, that's
Yeah,
where I'm at. Like,
yes.
because I'm going to tell you right now,
Yes.
at my brokerage, every agent is welcome.
Yep.
0 home, 1 home, 100 homes, 200 homes. Truthfully, because when I interview them as an owner of a business and a company, I might have a very good conversation with someone's like, hey, Jeff, like, you know what? I got my license and I'm military retired. I have my pension. My, wife is a professor and she's got a military retirement. I would just like to kind of like do 2 or 3 homes, but I'll do it exactly how you tell me to. Come on, let's do it. I'm all in on that agent. That's me. I don't know about everyone else here.
No,
I'm all in on that.
Well, in addition, that agent, if it happens that way, you as the mentor know that, number one, I know where their mindset, mentality, all of that. They've been honest with me. So now I want to help them.
And they're not going to be money hungry because they're trying to pay a bill with only the 2 homes of revenue that they made the entire year. Like when I hear someone who's like, Jeff, like I might dabble like 3 or 4 a year. I'm never going to be a top producer. I know brokers in town who will tell them, we're not the shop for you.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're the shop for that agent.
Right.
I'm happy. And I'll also kind of give out like broker gold right now for those who want to know it. The money is made in the fringe. I'm not going to go attract that 0.2% agent right now.
Right.
I'm not. And I don't even want to.
Nope.
Can you tell me why I don't want to?
I actually take the same philosophy from the lending perspective. And the reason is I'm not going to have some prima donna coming into my shop, changing the shit that I'm doing.
Absolutely. I think I could recruit him if I tried an applied effort. But what I'm simply saying is like, out of the number of agents, right? The largest pool, and I'm giving broker game here. So free training for brokers and brokers coming in the game.
Indie Broker Alliance,
right? We'll give you all these free tips for sure. The 1 to 4 who have sold 1 to 4 from January through July is 177,307 agents. That's the largest number outside of the ones who have sold nothing.
Right.
I can run a multi-million-dollar brokerage, which I do and have for many years. In the fringe with the agents who are doing 1 to 9, 1 to 10 all day long. Yeah. And again, they all have stories. They all have reasons why they got it. We're talking about the ones who don't belong here, who don't take it serious, who don't go to trainings, who haven't even gone to MLS 101, 201, 301, or 401, who don't even open up the tools that we provide them, their CRMs, their websites, their DigiSigns, and all this other stuff. Like, people all the time are like, hey, like, what do I get? Blah, blah. I'm like, more than you'll ever use. More than you'll ever know,
I mean, and another thing is if you look outside of the fringe, for example, how do you maintain a dealership with just the top? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, you have higher volume, so to speak, but if you combine that middle chunk, that's the volume, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So those folks need a place to do business, get better, grow. Eventually, maybe they could pop up to that next one. They may not stay at the shop, but at the end of the day, hey, that's kind of how it works.
Real quick, because I want to bring a parallel to this. What's the name of that Trader Joe's, right? That grocery store that's over there, like by Chama.
I have never walked in there.
Okay,
Whole Foods either.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. This is going to be great, right? Like for framing this up, right? Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. I've probably only been in those spots maybe 5 times in my entire life, right? But for the business owner, operator, agent who's listening to this, just think for a second. Stop listening to all the bullshit that you've been force fed, okay? And listen to what I'm about to say. HEB is HEB because they know how to serve the 97%.
Good point. And HEB owns every single piece of land that they've got an HEB on.
But for some reason in real estate, wannabe brokers, wannabe franchise owners, current franchise owners, current broker owners, independents, whatever, the whole thing.
Right.
They want to like die on this hill. Like, we only bring in the top agents. We only allow quality.
Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? San Antonio is made up of maybe 1% of quality. So what about the rest of people?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because last time we checked, we loved HEB because they have figured out how to serve more.
Yeah.
And so
that's a great analogy.
My message is to the 84%. Like, we're not here to bash the 84%.
Not at all.
Not
at all.
We're here to bring some light
and perspective
to an ongoing issue, because this is,
it's going to get worse.
This number is getting higher.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And my message to the 84% of agents is, maybe you're in the wrong company. And I don't mean like a company. I mean, maybe you're surrounded by the wrong people.
Absolutely.
Okay. Maybe you don't have the right people in your ear telling you, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You need to do this.
Good point.
Okay. Because that's a large number. I mean, 84%, that means, and that applies, just think about this, that 84% number applies in some way, shape or form to a lot of the large brokerages here in town.
Yeah.
There's some brokerages with some high number of agents.
100%.
And you're telling me if you have, 500 agents, that 80% are not producing, how are you making your money?
That's right.
That's
right.
The largest brokerages in town would put on a street parade if they could hit a 35% month over month deal close to agent ratio number. 35%, they would be flipping and having parades.
Absolutely.
I know that for a fact.
So I know we're wrapping up here, but I just want to real quick.
Go for it.
So I want to talk to the top 3%, because I feel like everyone's talking about the 97. Let's talk about the top 3. One of the things I have to highly recommend, because we gotta, like you talked about it earlier about the commission, like, oh, they're going to be upside down because you made all this commission. You shouldn't feel bad about making that commission if you provide value.
Amen.
Right.
Yes.
So for those top 3% that are out there, probably the one that's closing 20 to up to 100. There's quite a few in San Antonio right now. I know team based, however you run your shop, it don't matter. But if you're in that kind of demographic, I highly recommend bringing value to the client. Make sure you're protesting their taxes, because I did over 1,000. The little things that kind of swap out for that commission, so you don't have to feel bad. Create client care systems, guys, because that's just the only way to bring value to the client. But for the top 3%, make sure, don't feel bad about fucking, taking the commission, the 7% or whatever. You shouldn't if you're bringing value. Because we're in this business to make money at the end of the day, but doing it right is what we're trying to preach.
At the minimum, send your clients a thumb drive with all the closing documents, so they don't have to hunt you down in 9 months when they're trying to do stuff.
Here's something super simple to add to your point. If you are an agent, a lender out there, and you're trying to do what Rob was talking about, do your best to not allow your customer to hear it from Google or the internet first. Be that person that educates them on everything, then listen, which is going to tell you what you should advise them on next and how you should advise them. So we've got maybe 15 or so minutes left, hopefully. And you mentioned something that kind of allows me to shift into this last gritty topic, and we don't have to go super deep, maybe surface level, but the idea of how is this 84% chunk making their money, right? And I put out a post yesterday, day before yesterday. Number one, because it was somebody had asked me. So I went, that'll probably get people riled up. I'm all about the algorithm, baby. Let's go.
100%.
Put it out there. I did a, what is it called? Post and ghost. Yeah. Came back 5 hours later and was like, oh shit, here we go. So the idea of dual licensing, I would go as far as to say that top 1%, 2%, 3%, maybe even the first 3, none of them are worried about getting dual licenses. I could be wrong, but that's just my thoughts. And the reason for it is they are focused on their craft. They are doing whatever they can to work in their business and on their business, going to seminars, going to classes Jeff's giving, to better themselves, to sharpen their tools for their craft. Whereas the other groups, instead of taking that time to, and this is just my opinion, guys, just my opinion, instead of using that time to hone in on your craft, go and shadow another top producing agent throughout the day to see what they're doing, because obviously what they're doing is working. They're trying to find ways to make income outside of the industry or within the industry in a different manner, and that being dual licensing. So my question when this comes up, because I have tons, matter of fact, I have personally hired 2 different realtors to be lenders with the intent of them actually doing loan officer deals, not just to contribute. Mind you, they only lasted 2 months. Okay. That being said, What are your thoughts on this whole philosophy of this? Because like I was telling you guys, I think that if you have enough time to learn another piece of our industry, and it's not necessarily another piece, it's a completely different role. It's a completely equal, valuable role in a transaction. Man, I don't even know how to ask.
I think I'll go first. I'll go first. So on that chart that we're looking at, and I love referencing it because it says a lot about the industry. I've literally been, I'm going on 20 years. I've literally been in every of those brackets.
Gotcha.
Like everyone, like 0, 1 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 9 to 20, 30. I've been in all of them. I've been, not to brag or whatever. I've hit them all. When to get in dual license will probably make sense for me at the top. Sure. Because I could, source it out. It'll be an extension of the business. I don't think it makes sense in the middle or the bottom.
And you're right.
I don't think it makes,
that's not what they think.
No.
You get what I'm saying?
They're just not getting the right guidance. I think they're just not getting the right guidance because if you're doing those many deals, you have to capitalize. We have partnerships and other things, title, we have a home warranty. There's so many different aspects of real estate that you could, add as extensions. But for the middle, I think it's going to take too much of your time. Middle to bottom, it's going to take too much of your time and it's going to hurt your main business.
I don't see how it couldn't.
Yeah. No.
I'll jump in. That's great. So real quick, and I'm going to push back on how you kind of framed something earlier. You said that you feel like that top 3% that they've mastered their craft and they're not really focused on that.
Right.
I'm going to push back a little bit and say that top 3%, because like Rob been in there and I know what that looks like. That top 3%, they're monetizing their lending.
Okay.
It may not be through the way of licensure.
Okay.
But the reason they don't focus on licensure is because they've monetized their lending.
They've already figured it out.
And so, and if anybody who's listening is like, I don't understand how that's happening, call one of us. We'll break it down for you and we'll explain it. Okay. In legal ways. Okay. I'm talking about the legal ways.
Sure.
And I guess it kind of has to be thrown out for the table. They've monetized their lending in non-legal ways. I can tell you that too. Yeah. Okay. So that's a whole separate thing. Right. But the other part that I would say is definitely, I think we're all going to agree. My answer to the question is for very, very, very few in specific people, it could work for them. And I'm talking somewhere between 1% and 3% of the population that does this. Like it's this, and you're a lender married to a real estate professional, realtor. Yeah. I'm a real estate professional married to a lending professional. Yep. And I'm going to tell you right now, like lending could not be tougher than in 2026. The consumer could not be a know-it-all than in 2026 because of AI.
Absolutely. 2 on the money thus far.
You know what I'm saying? The big banks could not be more, I'm just going to say it because I don't give a shit, more misrepresentative in their lending. What are they called? Your disclosures, whatever, where they happen to completely miss your $12,000 annual tax bill. So they can show you a lower payment, kind of thing. And I know you deal with this every day because my wife deals with this every single day.
I deal with it on the truth side to where I'm having to reveal what they didn't show you.
Absolutely.
You're on the money.
And so like, even that's a great example of what I'm trying to express, right? If the average Joe or average Jane realtor who has the buyer, because it's happened to everybody who's listening.
Right.
Hey, Cesar, I'm the buyer. You're the agent, right? Hey, Cesar, I've been working with Big Bank X and they're coming in a little bit lower than the lender you referred me to. Like, you want to check it out? And then, sure. Send it over to me. Right. And then Cesar gets it. Right. And then Cesar's looking at it and then he calls the lender local and be like, what the hell? Like, I thought you were going to win their business. And then the lender has to school the agent and be like, slow your fucking roll.
Yeah, you have no idea.
You don't even know what you're looking at. And let me highlight how Big Bank X is completely misrepresenting their final payment.
Yes, sir.
Because I didn't leave out taxes and insurance and they did.
You got it.
And so that right there is a prime example as to why most realtors would never make it as a lender because we're so focused on getting to the closing table, getting to our rah-rah TikTok video that we're not willing to be experts at that, right? So the last thing I'll say on this is very simple. As you were asking the question, you know what would be better and smarter for every single agent listening to this that wants extra revenue, which is not a problem and is not a bad thing? Be a real estate agent and start a staging company.
Oh, good point.
Be a real estate agent and start a landscaping company, manicuring company.
Yes.
Be a real estate agent and start a general contracting business. Be a real estate agent and start a marketing company.
Yes.
I can give you game all day long. Call me, email me, whatever.
Now, a lot of
but
folks,
lending ain't it.
Well, I mean, a lot of folks think that my perspective or opinion on this is Mark's against that because he doesn't want to see people make more money. No, that's not it. What I don't want to see is somebody toting around that they're a lender when I work my ass off to be the best lender that I can possibly be. And they treat it as if it was just another gig.
Yep.
That's
It's
not what
doable.
this is.
Very few people can do it. That's
Mind you guys,
my
I'm an advocate for leveraging and building
Absolutely.
an empire off of what you do best. As a lender, I believe I'm the best at what I do in my craft. We started an insurance company. Well, those go hand in hand. Do we get every deal? No, we do not. But we do it legally and we give the borrower the options. You do what you want.
Real quick, I should say this before we hand it over to Cesar. Let's say the 97 below that 3%.
Yeah.
The 97 are trying to play a 3% game when they're not fully baked yet.
They haven't had the experience.
And what I mean by that is don't be mad at a large brokerage in San Antonio who monetizes lending business and opportunities when they have an army of agents ready to be able to receive that connection, that community, that affiliate, right?
Absolutely.
You can't be Johnny does it all by himself, solo agent, and walk around town like the industry owes you something. The industry doesn't owe you a damn thing. If you want to be the next Jeff Garza, get after it.
Good point. Good point.
You see what I'm saying? Because like Rob, I was in that zero until I was not in zero.
Yeah,
and I was like,
bro.
Because I had some secret business crushes on mentors in town. Like when I was like, how does that guy own that big ass company? And how does that amazing lady have that company? And so then I started to think like, wow, they've created so much leverage and so much business that now doing business with them is good business for everyone else.
That's right.
Right. And so like, I was like, I want to be that person one day. Does that make sense?
1000%.
So to Johnny or Janie, who's running around town doing 2 deals, thinking they're a big deal and that every lender owes them money.
Yes.
You're fucked up.
To add to your point,
I mean,
the idea.
Oh, no. I'm with you. I'm with Jeff on this one. I think it's a fad. I think it's one of the many fads that we've gone through many fads in our careers. I think it's a fad that, it's a shiny object right now that shows.
And I'm with you on that when it first started happening, but now I'm seeing actual mortgage companies create their business model around it. And that's what's
they will fail.
Making me nervous.
They're being led by sales VPs, not real estate VPs.
Good point.
Because they would stop that right away, knowing that they're about to attract the 0 to 1s, the 0 to 2s that are going to bring nothing but problematic files. They're not going to control the deal and they can't close the deal. I personally, Rob, Cesar, we are any lender's dream agent to do a deal with because I don't fuck around on my
do
deals.
your job. Yep. You do your part.
Like, I know y'all don't either. Like, and I'm going to just tell you, like, these guys right here, hey, I might have a larger company, but these guys right here set a lot of that tone before I ever got in. So I looked up to people like these people and I was like, okay, what are they doing?
Yeah.
What are they touching? What are they involved in? Because it's got to be probably good for me because 20 years is not easy to do.
Nope.
Does that make sense?
Yes. You've seen it all.
I'm going back to Johnny and Janie who are like, oh, this is bullshit. These are these 3 like naggy ass broker dudes. Like they're just, gray in the beard or whatever.
You are naggy.
Like, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're just honest, and we're tired of seeing all these things like people walking around like, I'm going to make tons of money because I'm going to do tons of deals and I'm going to do tons of loans.
Was that a fake Trump? Did I hear a fake Trump?
Mexican Trump.
Anyways, give us that final there, Cesar. I know we got to wrap it up.
So I honestly think
Cesar, bring us home.
I honestly think it's a fad, and Jeff is right. They're attracting the wrong type of agent. Is it going to be beneficial for a very, very small percentage? Yes. Okay, because it's going to give that extra revenue stream.
Sure.
Because you know how to do it legally. You know how to do it, ethically. You know how to do it the right way. Why say no to that? I mean, we got into title. We're not ripping people off.
Right.
And
you believed in it enough to put your money where your mouth
exactly.
is.
Yes.
You know, and we do it the right way.
The legal way, disclosures, affiliations, all these legal.
Exactly. So it's going to work for some people, then it's going to slowly fade away. But then again, our business is morphing and evolving, or I don't know, what's the opposite of evolving?
Regressing.
It might be regressing.
Shrinkage.
Yeah, stop that shrinkage. Your hairline. Yeah.
Cold
not my hairline.
Cold plunge this morning. Yeah.
Not my hairline. I know that. But it's changing so fast before our eyes that, I mean, we might be having a completely different conversation in 12 months.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A completely different conversation in 12 months, 24 months. The crystal ball is 100% broken.
Wow.
Now, I honestly think, you know, to bring it home, a little bit of humor. No?
Please.
Okay. All right. So I pop.
Rob's funnier than you, but okay.
I pop into social media. All right. And it's funny, but it's not. And it's just one of those things that since I became a broker, anytime a female agent would come into the brokerage, I'm like, look, there's 911. There's all these things that you can do to prepare yourself for somebody, because we were meeting complete strangers.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm always the first phone call. Okay. Always, always, always. I will come and rescue you wherever you are. Right. So I just read this on social media. All right. And if we have to,
you want me to put it up? I can.
No. Because it has a couple of names.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Graphics.
It's a post, a very recent post on social media. It says, this is for female real estate agents that are promoting a lot of social media and have their phone number on open house flyers, which, by the way, that's been 5 decades in the making. Yeah. I think the issue is shaking the ass on the social media. Mm-hmm. I recently boosted an open house flyer, and I'm trying to stay active on social media. I've received at least 3 calls from random guys talking about their penis. How do you handle that?
I have so many thoughts.
How do you, I mean, and that's the lady's question. How do you handle that? I'm like, well,
that's one of your agents.
Wow.
No, gosh, no.
Oh, I was confused.
No.
The sad part is that's very common, you know, and it's one, that, you know, again, to wrap it up, but like,
wait a minute. It's common. Which part? The
do you call people about your penis?
Yeah, that part.
No.
Please tell me you're not calling people about your penis, Jeff.
Because I have a lot of
Google Voice,
a lot of amazing, female lady professionals, at our shop, and this shit happens all the time.
For sure.
To them,
sure.
which kind of goes back to the beginning, the crux of this conversation, which is like, if you, not to say that there's not the random weirdo, no one can stop a weirdo from being a weirdo, but like, you want to be paid, treated, respected like a doctor and attorney, act like one. And, I would be very, very, I wouldn't be down because I have an adult age daughter, and she might be in real estate one day. Yep. Watch out if she does, because she's hardcore.
Yep.
But if she was portraying a particular look, then, man,
reminds me of Dave Chappelle.
I might get attacked for saying that, but
was it Dave Chappelle?
We got to be real smart.
What was the joke? I'll tell you.
When he said that, so I ran up to this police officer and I said, help, I need your help. He said, whoa, I'm not a police officer. Just because I'm dressed this way, you think that I'm a police officer? The same concept.
Yeah. Yep.
Act, dress for the part that you want to be treated.
And I'm sure someone's going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe they went there. And like, we should be able to dress however we want to.
Okay.
Well, yes. That's fine.
Absolutely.
No one's stopping you.
Just like freedom of speech.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not free from
I just think it's dangerous. My worst day as a broker would be if one of my agents was hurt in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus, that has not happened.
Right.
But we talk about it very often. I make sure that all of our agents are in some sort of buddy click or group or WhatsApp or text. Most of all of my producing, the ladies at Redbird, most of them all kind of like have a 2 or 3 way with these other agents where they're like, hey, I've got 4 showings. I'm going to text you when I get there and when I leave. So they're all kind of like, they have a cohort kind of sort of thing, so for safety protocol, most of them are using Forewarn, which is a great tool, for people to run. Yep. And every agent here, especially the ladies, right? We're saying this. I mean, I'm I got a wife, I've got a daughter and got a granddaughter. Like, I mean, like, trust me, like that's my world, right? You know, like, but like you should be using forewarn. That should be step one. You know, I've always told agents, and they kind of like look at me sometimes like, you know, how do you minimize this? Well, you ask for their ID. Well, but I just got them on Zillow and I don't want to scare them away. Well, then that's
where's your priority?
Then I don't know what matters more to you, because every time I check into my doctor, who I've been seeing for 89 years, I still have to give them my freaking ID and my insurance. Like you haven't been billing them forever.
That is one thing that we instill at our brokerage with all the agents that we have, all the agents that we've had in the past. They all know no commission is worth more than your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
No commission is worth more than your life. So
your dignity, the respect,
we teach them specifically on how to vet every single lead. And if there's still that little bit of gray area, we do have the buddy system. And on top of that, all my agents pack heat.
Boom.
Yeah.
Texas,
baby. Most of mine do too.
Yes.
All my agents pack heat. All of them.
I think it's crazy that, you know, you're talking about like they're scared of the consumer, but honestly, like a lot of these girls, these sucias posting and shit, like they're even complaining about like industry events, like where other fucking people, like agents, are like doing shit, like, you know, which is crazy.
Like hitting on them,
aggressively, because they see them on social media doing, and then they think like, oh, she's like that, whatever, and then they're complaining. Like, that's obviously it's not cool, but it's part of like, you know.
Yeah, if you're using
like
that,
a duck, talk like a duck.
If you're using that part of you to market, then you know
there your value lies.
And not only that, I just want to say this because I guarantee there's someone.
This is a disclaimer. Here comes a disclaimer.
I guarantee someone just got pissed off at what we're talking about, and they think that we're like throwing shade and that we think that we have no platitude to be able to say like,
I'm going to take it from you.
Yeah,
we're talking about you.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. I was just thinking about it. All of us have all of our wives are very serious, well-known names and professionals, different ways, different parts of this industry, in this industry. And so, we're damn well qualified to talk about this because I would have a problem if I won't go into all that, but that's the second podcast.
As a matter of fact, my wife is in the middle of that pack and I'm proud that that's okay. Yeah. Shit.
I mean,
yeah, not bad for a part-time gig, huh?
Not bad, yeah. Exactly.
Hey, and I brought this up for one specific reason, because we talked about it in the beginning. It's getting, you know, it's amplifying as we go on. It's becoming a lot. Okay. All I'm saying is for us, if you're doing your social media and you're being funny, if you're being, you know, whatever your bit is, that's fine, man. Nobody's going to come after you.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're a female and you're, you know, pushing the limits, every month you push the limit, you push the limit, just please be careful. Yeah. Just please be careful. Why? Because this is not slowing down. Yep. This is actually amplifying, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Why? Because the leads do come in.
That's right.
Okay. The leads do come in. The messages do come in. You just please be careful. That's the one reason. Now I led with humor. Okay. Because obviously saying penis podcast is always funny.
Always.
But Jeff talking about how many numbers do you have to call?
Four of them.
Four different numbers to call.
At least.
And I tell you what, if that top button doesn't hold on for dear life like it's doing over there, Caesar, we're gonna have a whole different kind of show.
We need to have an entire taco meat podcast here. Yeah, for sure.
Dude, put it away.
When you're blessed with chest hair.
I'm offended. Yeah.
When you're blessed with chest hair, you just
gentlemen, that was an outstanding conversation about quite a bit. I think that's going to go far as it will wide. And I think that this is a pretty solid group to get insight from different perspectives, because you each run a different caliber of shop, not more valuable, just experienced, solid shops ran completely different. So I appreciate the perspective from those that are actually in the trenches, in the fields, doing what they say they're actually doing versus the...
We actually get along. Absolutely. Like we played golf last night.
Well, what's funny is most at this level tend to get along. Yeah. Why? Because we speak the same language. We've been through kind of the same stuff at some point in time. So there is no, I'm trying to sell you my worth right now, educating from my perspective. You're educating from your perspective, et cetera. And I appreciate that. And the folks listening, I hope you appreciate it as well. That's going to cap up this conversation. And I really do think that we may have changed some perspectives if somebody actually pays attention to this conversation.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I think Jeff hit it spot on. We're open books, guys. Like, reach out, let us know. Like, we'll tell you how it is. I'm not saying that we know it all, but we've seen some shit for sure. So
I don't have a problem sharing anything with somebody to spare them the headache and heartache that I've been through or whatever. Yeah.
So I'm going to add you guys' links in the description of this one. Did you want me to put your social media? Do you want me to put your TikTok where you do all your?
I don't. It's the gram. The gram is the one where.
Okay, I'll put all the grams on there.
The juicy stuff is there.
Yeah. I want to thank you all again.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Good time, man. Yeah, first time. Broke you in.
Can we bring you back?
Yeah. Let's bring Sexy back with Rob.
We need to have like a taco competition. Like everybody brings their best, breakfast taco, and then we'll do it right here, and we'll taste test it right here on the podcast.
It's already done with hot wings.
That's right.
Yeah.
I saw my first one. Netflix. What is it called? Hot or Not?
Hot. I don't know.
I don't know what it's called. It was funny.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. 61,500 subscribers. We're still growing because of you and because of them. I appreciate you very, very much, but we'll catch you on the next one.
At the end of every day,
awesome.
Look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I get better today? Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better will you be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the real question. And it all comes down to taking small steps. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day or even 1 week. Just focus on getting a little better every single day.